Namaskar and welcome to this edition of our special series on India-UN partnership to mark 75th anniversary of United Nations. Listeners may recall India has been one of the founding members of the world body. Today we are observing International Day of Persons with Disabilities. This year the theme is Building Back Better towards a disability inclusive, accessible and sustainable post-COVID-19 world. We have with us Mr. Satoshi Sasaki, Deputy Director, International Labour Organization. Welcome to the show, Mr. Satoshi.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this meeting.
Listeners, let me share a brief profile of Mr. Satoshi Sasaki. Mr. Satoshi Sasaki joined as the Deputy Director for the International Labour Organization ILO Decent Work Team for South Asia and Country Office for India in August 2018. He has been an ILO veteran with more than 21 years of experience in areas like enterprise development, entrepreneurship, local economic development, crisis response, including managing ILO units and departments. Mr. Satoshi has worked extensively with government and international technical agencies as well as UN. He has served in different capacities in Japan, Solomon Islands, Philippines, Bangladesh, China, Thailand, and Fiji. Mr. Sasaki holds a master's degree in social development planning and management from the University of Wales. Welcome, Mr. Satoshi.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to join this meeting.
Listeners, today it is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. The day marks the resolve of the global community to understand, share, and respond to the challenges faced by the people with disabilities. It is also a reflection of the understanding that disability in one form or another can be encountered in any phase of life, and we must be geared up to respond to the needs of the people with disabilities. Mr. Satoshi, how are persons with disabilities a part of ILO's mandate?
Well, there are 1 billion people with disabilities, which counts for 15% of the world population, and about 80% of them at their working age. Well, in India, according to the census in 2011, 2.21% of the total populations are people with disabilities, which sounds like underestimated, perhaps because how disability is counted in this country. But in particular, the women with disabilities face enormous attitudinal, physical, and informational barriers to equal opportunities. For this, ILO promotes a dual-track approach. The first track is disability-specific programs, and the second track is to ensure the inclusion of the people with disabilities in mainstream services and activities, such as skills training, employment promotion, social protection schemes, and poverty reduction strategies. And ILO do this in their own program, but also we work with other UN organizations as well.
You have been a part of the ILO team for a long time, and an interesting part of your profile was that of being representative of the Decent Work Team for South Asia and Country Office for India. What does this concept of decent work imply, more so in the context of persons with disabilities?
Decent work is the concept, which is the aspiration of the people in their working lives. And it involves opportunities for work that is productive and delivers a fair income, and also security in the workplace and social protection for their families. And decent work is also incorporates for the better prospects for personal development, social integration, freedom for people to express their concerns, organize and participate in the decision that affects their lives, and equality of the opportunity and treatment for all women and men. And in terms of the employment for persons with disability, this means that working on an equal basis with others in an open work environment.
How has ILO supported this decent work, employability for persons with disabilities? And can you share some examples or success stories in the context of India or the Indian subcontinent to say so?
Let me start with introducing two ILO standards. The first one is the ILO Centenary Declaration for the Future of Work, which is established last year. This declaration highlights, in particular, the needs to ensure the equal opportunities and treatment for persons with disabilities. And the second one I want to mention is the ILO Convention 159 on vocational rehabilitation and employment, which is established in 1983. This requires for the member states to formulate, implement, and periodically review national policies on vocational rehabilitation and employment of persons with disabilities based on the principle of equal opportunities. And also, ILO-led advocacy and networking through ILO Global Business and Disability Network. This is a group of enterprises, nonprofit organizations, and organizations for people with disabilities. And the case of India is that we have the India Business and Disability Network, or IBDN. It's a joint initiative by the Confederation of Indian Industries, CII, the Employers Federation of India, EFI, and ILO together for industry to engage, enable, and empower persons with disabilities. IBDN has been contributing through the knowledge creation, advocacy, and dialogue and facilitating partnerships.
The theme this year has been building back better towards a disability inclusive, accessible and sustainable post COVID-19 world. As the world faces COVID-19 pandemic, how does this theme fit into the mandate of ILO and the global community? And since the pandemic has really added on to the hardships of the people with disabilities and we are facing new challenges.
This for post-COVID-19 situation, and it's going on now. The ILO has established the policy brief on inclusion of persons with disabilities in June this year, and it advises to ensure the combination of mainstreaming and targeting measures for the inclusion of persons with disabilities in all initiatives of the socio-economic responses. And now, as the nations are moving into the recovery phase and adopting new normal, we need to focus on three aspects. The first, ensure new forms of the work accessible and inclusive for persons with disability. And second, expand the coverage and adequacy of social protection for persons with disabilities, contributing to the universal social protection. And third, develop established disability support services that enable training and work. And the response to the COVID-19 crisis create the foundations for the recovery. And it is an opportunity to reinforce the rights of persons with disabilities and enhance their inclusion in social and economic life. And about the difficulties that the person with disabilities face under the current situation, we need to understand that persons with disabilities are more likely to have health conditions that increase the risk of getting COVID-19 due to the difficulties in maintaining physical distancing, accessibility barriers in obtaining relevant information, and increased social isolation. And many of these risks are compounded particularly for women and older persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities are less likely to be in employment or have decent working conditions, more likely to be in the informal economy and not adequately covered by the social protections. They are among the hardest hit by the economic crisis, and they are more likely to lose work and have difficulty finding employment again. We need to ensure that disability inclusion is central to the COVID-19 socio-economic response.
Listeners, we are in conversation with Mr. Satoshi Sasaki, Deputy Director, International Labour Organization with All India Radio on the International Day of Disability. So these are really some of the lessons which we have learned from the experiences in a post-COVID world, and especially in terms of the ideas of building back a more inclusive and accessible world for persons with disabilities. How will you attribute this to the changes what you talked about in terms of getting new forms of work or making the accessible movement or people's movement, to say so, as we have seen in Indian context?
Yeah, for example, because of the COVID-19 situation prevailing, there's more use of the IT tools, like for the finding the new jobs through the website. This type of the support services are becoming more and more common. This could be the opportunity for the people with disabilities who may not have the freedom to move around, but at home, they can also identify what kind of jobs are available for them. So I hope that for the people with disability will take an opportunity to newly created for the services. That is for the common to all of them, equal opportunity. And I hope that for the people with disabilities, different organizations can support these efforts.
Well, Mr. Satoshi, India has undertaken a series of initiatives under Accessible India campaign for increasing the accessibility and availability of services for the people with disabilities. How do you look at the work done by India in this regard over the years?
India has been making the great effort to providing opportunities for the people with disabilities to access to the employment opportunities. As I mentioned that for the ILOs was taking the initiative of for the dual track approach. First for the disability specific for the programs, like for example, the providing the business development for training program for the people with disabilities, but focusing on their needs and also the mainstreaming what their needs into the currently available services. So I just want to mention about the example of the IT base for the services that, for example, the Ministry of Labor and for the Employment now promoting that for these services can be available not only in the urban area but for in the rural areas as well. So I think the India is now coming towards more and for the better service for the employment opportunities for the people with disabilities.
India has been one of the key members of ILO, and ILO has been one of the oldest UN agency which has started work in India. How would you define the ILO India partnership and what has been its contributions?
First of all, we need to appreciate the uniqueness of the ILO for being a tripartite organization. ILO has played a significant role in formalizing employers and trade union organizations in India. We always promote social dialogue involving workers and employers organizations as well as government. In 1942, the Indian Labour Conference and the Standing Labour Committee were established based on the ILO structure and principles. And at present, ILO has 187 member states, and India is a founding member since 1919. ILO and India have enjoyed a mutually beneficial relationship and have influenced each other in the development of labor and social policies in India as well as globally. India was foremost a member to support the ILO Declaration for Fundamental Principles and Rights at Work. In the past 100 years, both India and ILO have experienced the uncertainties of world wars, recessions, and globalizations. We have always been working together to embrace the challenges to the world of work.
Another important feature which I was going through the readings was that ILO recently concluded its centenary. It will be great if you can share some of the milestones or the achievements and what remains to be done.
The ILO conference in June last year, a declaration for the future of work was adopted by the ILO constituents, which includes those from India. And the declaration calls for the human-centered approach to the future of work. This is an agenda that recognizes human welfare with no one left behind to be the ultimate objective of all public policies. And the declaration essentially points to the three critical areas of investment. First, the investing in people's capabilities so they can benefit from the opportunities of changing for the world of work, and people need access to lifelong learning and quality education. And second, the investing in the institutions of work as they strengthen governance and service delivery for better outcomes in the labor markets and the world of work as a whole. And third, investing in decent and sustainable work. We need to promote sustained and inclusive economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. The government, workers, and employers have adopted this guiding framework for the new future of work we need to shape, and we will need to further capitalize on the political support it gained.
You rightly summed up the requirements for which the ILO and the international community has to work in the years to come for a labor force which can really pay dividends in the years to come. Well, that was Mr. Satoshi Sasaki, Deputy Director, International Labour Organization, in conversation with All India Radio on the International Day of Disability. Thanks for joining us and sharing your valuable experiences, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting ILO for the important occasion. And I do hope that under the current the COVID-19 situation, the people with disability will not be the last one to be gained the outcome of the economic development that's going on in India now, but for the coming up with the good for the support by the different the organizations organizations, including the government, but also from ILO point of view, employers and workers organizations to support the employment for the people with disabilities. So thank you very much for the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Satoshi.